All right, let's dive right into one of the biggest ideas out there. The idea that for humanity to survive, to have any long-term future at all, we absolutely have to leave Earth. Now I know, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, but the logic behind it is, well, it's incredibly real.
And that's the core of the whole problem, isn't it? Our planet, it's this amazing, perfect oasis for life in what seems to be a vast, empty universe. But that's also its greatest weakness. It's a trap, because we have everything, literally everything, all in one basket.
So to really get why this is so urgent, you have to think about our place not just in space, but in time. Our cosmic predicament is this. Survival is not the norm. It's the exception. The universe isn't out to get us, not at all. It just doesn't care if we're here or not. I mean, just look at this timeline. Extinction isn't some rare event. It's practically routine on a cosmic scale. Life on our own planet has been nearly wiped out over and over again. You know the dinosaurs? They were around for 160 million years, way longer than us. But when that giant asteroid showed up, they didn't have a space program, they just died.
5. Let that number just sink in for a second. 5 separate times when the story of complex life on Earth almost got a final, abrupt ending. And here's the most important part. We're just living in the quiet lull after the 5th one. We have no idea, absolutely no guarantee, how long this quiet period is going to last.
And here's the new twist. Unlike the dinosaurs, we're facing a whole new set of threats. Yeah, we've still got the classic cosmic dangers like a supervolcano or a gamma ray burst from space, but now we've added dangers we created all by ourselves, risks that come from the same smarts that make our species so special in the first place.
And that brings us to this term from engineering that just perfectly sums up our situation. Humanity right now is a system with a single point of failure. Every person, every piece of art, every memory, every bit of knowledge we've ever had, it all exists right here on this one little planet. If something takes out Earth, the game's over. For everyone. Forever.
Okay, so what do we do about it? Well, you do the same thing you do with your most important computer files. You make a backup. It's time to build humanity's backup drive. And thankfully, there's a pretty logical path forward. Step 1, the moon. Think of it as our training ground. It's right next door, it's brutally difficult, and it's where we're going to learn all the hard lessons about how to actually live somewhere else. But Mars is the real objective. That's our backup drive. That's the place where we could potentially build a real self-sustaining second home. And this is the ultimate goal. This is what we're aiming for. It's called planetary redundancy. It doesn't just mean sticking a flag in the ground, it means creating a place that can survive on its own, a place that could thrive even if it never heard from Earth again. That's the moment our species becomes, for all practical purposes, extinction-proof.
And this right here just lays out the stakes perfectly. It's a choice between two completely different futures. On the left, our story has one final, very fragile chapter. On the right, the story keeps going, no matter what happens to our home planet.
You know, thinking about all this forces us to ask an even bigger and, frankly, a much scarier question. This isn't just about our own survival anymore. It might just explain the profound, deafening silence we hear when we look out into the cosmos.
This, of course, is the famous Fermi paradox. I mean, with billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, the universe should be buzzing with civilizations. It should be noisy. So why is it so quiet? Where is everybody? Well, one terrifying possible answer is something called the Great Filter. It's this idea that there's some kind of wall that almost every civilization hits on its way to becoming spacefaring. And maybe that wall is the moment a species gets smart enough to create world-ending technology, but not yet wise enough to stop themselves from using it, or to leave their planet before it's too late.
So the most critical point is this: we are living inside the Great Filter right now. This slide captures our exact, incredibly dangerous moment in history. We're in this race, a race between our own power and our own wisdom.
Honestly, I cannot think of a more perfect metaphor for where we are as a species. Everything we are, everything we've created, art, science, philosophy, love, all of it is this tiny, flickering flame. And we're holding it in the middle of a cosmic hurricane of risks, both natural and of our own making. But, and this is a huge but, if we can shield that candle, if we can make it through this filter, our future isn't just about surviving. It's about a potential so enormous it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. It's about waking up the universe. In that kind of future, we're not just hopping between planets. We could be building our own worlds, these gigantic spinning cylinders in space. We could build massive swarms of collectors around the sun to harness literally all of its energy. We could become the species that finally takes consciousness and spreads it out into this silent, sleeping galaxy.
And this is a huge shift in how you think about it. Our expansion doesn't have to be about conquering things. You can see it as the universe itself, through us, finally becoming self-aware. We are the part of the cosmos that can look back at itself in awe, and by expanding, we spread that awe.
But as amazing as all that sounds, we have to pull the conversation back down to Earth for a minute, because there's a really valid and important criticism that always comes up in these discussions. It's all about priorities. And this is the question, right? We've got climate change, we have poverty, we have disease. Isn't all this talk about Mars just an expensive distraction? Are we just trying to run away from the problems we've made right here at home?
But here's the beautiful, almost perfect irony of the whole thing. The technologies we have to invent to keep people alive on Mars, things like hyper-efficient solar power, perfect water recycling systems, totally self-contained ecosystems, pinpoint climate monitoring, those are the exact same technologies we desperately need to save Earth. Pushing for space actually forces us to solve our problems here.
So, when you get right down to it, this isn't about abandoning our home. The real motivation is the exact opposite. It's about preservation. It's driven by the idea that we love this place, this beautiful blue marble, too much to risk it being the final chapter in the human story.
Because at the end of the day, the universe is incredibly beautiful, but it's mostly just rocks and gas and dust. As far as we know, we're the only ones who can see that beauty. So maybe the ultimate reason for all of this is just to make sure that for a long, long time to come, there's someone around to keep watching the show.